for the year 2023, the last webinar for the year 2023, which says Rejuvenate 2024. We shall be looking on how to reflect, reset, and to thrive in the coming year. So many things we've budgeted or we planned for this year 2023, but some of them we've been able to achieve, some we could not achieve, but that is just one of the ways of life. And I hope this webinar will guide us concerning the next coming year by the grace of Almighty God. So to do justice to today's topic is no person than Dr. R.O. Karim. Before he comes on board, I would like to take his citation. So once again, let me greet each and every one of us that are online. So to take us through this topic is no person than Professor Razak Olufemi Karim rather. Professor Karim Razak Olufemi Abolore was born 5 decades ago at Shomolu, Lagos, to the family of Alhaji Musali Afolorunso and Mrs. Karim. He is the third among his siblings. He had his primary education at Eredo Muslim Primary School in Ishoyin, Ijebu-Ode between 1976 to 1982, and his secondary education at Ishoyin Grammar School, Ishoyin, Ijebu-Ode between 1982 and 1987. He had his academic brief. Okay, he had an academic brief at a government college Ikorodu in 1988, Lagos State, and later proceeded to Lagos State Polytechnic, Lagos State, for a national diploma in general agriculture between 1989 to 1991. He got admitted into University of Agriculture, now Federal University of Abeokuta. Okay, now Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, for bachelor degree in agricultural and masters of agriculture, specialized in agricultural economics and farm management between 1998 and 2004. In 2005, Professor Karim, enrolled for his master's doctorate program in agricultural economics at Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Osun State. During his sojourn in Obafemi Awolowo University, he had a scholarship to World Fish Center regional training in Abasa, Egypt, between June and December 2006. On his return to Nigeria, he continued with his PhD program in the same university. His international experience at World Fish Center afforded him the opportunity to publish his first academic paper and publication in the area of resource economics. In January 2009, he joined the service of Crescent University, Abeokuta, as a lecturer too in the Department of Economics and Actuarial Sciences, and rose through the ranks to the position of a professor, resource and development economics in the same department in 2022. Before joining the service of Crescent University, Abeokuta, he briefly taught as a teacher at the then UNAP extramural classes between 1999 and 2001. Part-time lecturer at Federal College of Education, Sandwich Program, Oshiele, Ogun State in 2005. After completing his NYSC at the Ministry of Agriculture Planning, Research, and Statistics Department, Okelewu, between 1998 and 1999. In the area of university community assignments, Professor Karim has served in various capacities within and outside the university community. He served as the chairman, Result Vetting Committee, chairman, Admissions Committee, chairman, Task Force on Discipline, chairman, Undergraduate and Postgraduate Documentation Committee for NUC accreditation. He's also a member of delegation that screened Kano State scholarship students. He is also a member governing council of Crescent University as congregation representative. He's also a member of committee of deans and directors, CODAD, Crescent University Abeokuta. He's also a member of Ishonyi Muslim Community Constitution Drafting Committee. He's also a member of Ife Suwapo Community Development Area, Obantoko, here in Abeokuta. A treasurer, Ishonyi Grammar School Old Student Association, 1982 to 1987 set, and a member Federal University of Abeokuta Muslim Association, to mention but a few. In 2011, he was appointed as the pioneer acting director, Center for Entrepreneurial Studies in Crescent University. In February 2014, as a part of his selfless service and commitment to the university, he was again appointed as the head Department of Economics and Actual Sciences. In November 2017, the Vice Chancellor of Crescent University appointed him as the Dean of Student Affairs, owing to his online moral discipline and leadership quality, coupled with dedication and commitment to the university community. He has been severally delegated as the acting dean of the College of Arts, Social Sciences, and Management Sciences, and the dean, the School of Postgraduate Study in the same university in the year 2022, amongst other responsibilities by the Vice Chancellor. He has also reviewed for selected local and international journals, such as IFE Journals, Agrosciences, Aquaculture Management Scholar Bulletin, Journal of Discovered Agriculture, Spinner, Nature, etc. Regarding awards and scholarship, he has received several awards, amongst which are Award of Excellence by the Nigeria Economic Student Association, Crescent University Abeokuta, in year 2010, 2013, and 2018. In the same vein, he has received Award of Excellence by Kano State Students Association for his gigantic contribution to moral discipline in Crescent University Abeokuta in year 2018. He received a Distinguished Personality Award by the Association of the Departmental Presidents on the occasion of their maiden edition of a Unified Student Week in Crescent University in year 2019, and a Merit Award by Nigerian Association of Business and Finance Students in year 2022. In 2023, he received an Award of Excellence in recognition of his commitment and productivity by the Nigeria Economic Student Association of Crescent University chapter. In addition to that, in 2023, he also received an award by the Association of Presidents at Crescent University Unified Week. Regarding recommendation, Professor Karim received a letter of recommendation for an active participation in research activities at the World Fish Center, African and West Asia Regional Center, Abasa, Egypt, in 2006. More so, he received a letter of appreciation for the review of an international Scopus index-based journal known as Review of Agriculture, Economics, and Management, with manuscript number AEMC 0930. In the area of research, he has supervised over 63 undergraduate students and 6 postgraduate students, and currently he has 4 MSc students in the Department of Economics. He has equally mentored over 10 students, both at undergraduate level and postgraduate level, from Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, and Federal University of Agriculture, FUNAB. He is a member of professional bodies, among which are Nigeria Economic Society, Farm Management Association of Nigeria, and Nigeria Agricultural Economic Society. Professor Karim teaches courses at both undergraduate and postgraduate level. Professor Karim has made contributions to knowledge in the field of resource economics and also in the area of macroeconomics, variable, and policy implementation implications on economic growth and development in Nigeria. He has published over 61 journals articles to his credit at both local and international outlets. One chapter in a book referred conference proceeding. He has to his credit about 745 citations on Google Scholar with I-index 15 and I-10 index 21. Concerning extracurricular activity, he loves listening to inspirational speech, meditating, and traveling. Conclusively, Professor Karim Razak Olufemi is a professor of resource and development economics in College of Arts, Social and Management Sciences at Christian University, Abeokuta here in Ogun State. He is kind-hearted man, but highly principled, erudite scholar, mentor to young researchers, as well as a man that is spiritually, emotionally, and physically stable. He is happily married to Dr. Mrs. Katie Karim, and they are blessed with wonderful children. Please join me and welcome on board Professor Razak Olufemi Karim. Sir, you are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes, you can go ahead, sir. Please, those online, please kindly help us to welcome Professor Karim. You can unmute yourself and just say hi to him or say good evening.
Hi, Prof. Good evening.
Thank you very much. Please, I'm about to just I want to thank Dr. Olubode for the profile, right? And I want to also join in greeting all of us on this this platform this evening. And I don't know why these things. Okay, yes. I don't know whether you can all see the slide. Can you all see the slide?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, we can, sir.
Okay.
Yes, we can see.
So, I was so glad when I was, invited to discuss this topic, how to reflect, how to reset and thrive. Being a year-end webinar for professional and personal and professional goals. So, okay. To see this. Okay. So, I think firstly, I want to appreciate the organizer of today's webinar program, the Accurate Creative Minds Foundation. I'm aware it's a non-profit and non-partisan organization, and I feel honored to be with you all through this medium. I'm also aware that this year alone, the organization has organized an essay competition, projects and report writing among the tertiary institutions in Ogun State, and as well as various webinar series to orientate the citizens, including today's series on how to rejuvenate or give energy or vigor for the coming year 2024. I equally believe that this topic is very apt, especially when the country is facing a lot of social, economic, and religious, political, and security, just to mention but a few. But I need to say something here. When I received the topic, I am quite sure that many people have different definition. But today, we are going to give us the exact term. In what respect are we talking about with respect to how to reflect, reset, and thrive? So the presentation slides will be based on preamble, the concept of reflection, tips for a self-reflection practice. We are going to look at the meaning of the term used, which are values, goals, objectives, and habits. So we are going to look at how to set your own professional goals as an individual, the practical step to set better professional goals. Then we are going to look at the helpful reflection questions about your past, present, and the future. Concept of resetting, concept of restore and recast, and concept of leverage. Strategies to help you leverage yourself and how to thrive in life. And looking at what that personal growth, what it entails, and the conclusion. Like I said, so many thoughts about the concept, but we are going to x-ray what the concept or reflection or reset and thrive entails in this presentation. As a way of preamble, our life is broken into phases and measures in time, increment of days, weeks, months, and years. The question is, how do you keep track of your progress on life goals? How do you look back and reflect on your goals? So these are the things that we are going to really dwell on in this presentation. As a preamble to what we want to discuss, economic factors are being responsible to why some of us have been depressed. Economic factors are even non-economic factors have been responsible to why some of us have not been able to achieve our goals. And we want to look at some of these factors. And the first one I have here is unemployment, which is believed to be over 40%, and high poverty rate, which is around 37%, with estimated 100 million living below poverty line. This is quite alarming and somehow discouraging in the country of ours, Nigeria. Then we also have problem of peer group influence or environmental factor, because sometimes where we live determines sometimes how we are able to think, how we behave in society. So this is one of the things that do affect us from achieving our goals. The unfriendly business environment and insecurity, continuous strike in the university system. Somebody who graduated from the university, you are supposed to spend 4 years. At the end of the day, you spend 5 or 6 years. So some of these things, really affect our aspiration in terms of goals that we have set for ourselves. Maybe you have visited the counselor and you have already planned for yourself that by the time you are 16, after 4 years when you finish from the university, and you are going to finish from university, then you get a job. But along the line, the strike crop up and you eventually spend 6 years. So this usually affects the personal goals you have set for yourself. So we also look at the political instability and lack of continuity policy making decisions. So corruption, from the corruption perception index of 2022, Nigeria is to be 150 least corrupt nation. The question is, how does some of these points relate to the issue of the topic of the day? Because all these things, really affects our desire to achieve some of these goals that we have set for ourselves. Then, the current issue now is the effect of removal of fuel subsidy, which has led to multidimensional poverty among the citizens. All of us, except some few individuals in the country that are not affected with this fuel subsidy removal. What has been the implication of this on our desire to achieve our goals? Some of the things that we planned for 2023, it's so shocking that the pronouncement of fuel subsidy, majority of the filling stations just changed from 195 to 500. Now, we all buy at the rate of 630 per liter. So, this is also one of the things that affects our desire to achieve this. So, we also have multiple exchange rates. You can imagine, Naira is now being exchanged for a dollar exchanged to over 1,000 Naira at the black market. We have the official exchange rate and the parallel market. So if you want to buy anything, what you hear is that it is the exchange rate that is causing it. The electricity supply got mere and cost of production, which advertently has led to the inflation. So the question is, all these factors that we have mentioned, in one way or the other, will affect our personal and professional goals. So we want to look at another aspect of the president's agenda of renew hope. So the president has promised us all this food security, but with that security, rice is now over 50,000 naira per bag. Poverty eradication, petrol now sells for 620 or thereabout in Abeokuta and other states. Economic growth, that has been the promise of the present government. Job creation access to capital by SME and student loan, consumer credit. Then inclusion, social inclusion, maybe in trying to improve the playing field for people, youth, women, and companies, and rule of law, fighting corruption. The question is, how far within 6 months? This is year 2023. The expectation of people is that some of these things we should have started seeing the effect, even though under normal circumstances, it's not possible to start having these effects. So this now brings us to a quote by Jack Canfield. It goes thus: successful people maintain a positive focus in life, no matter what is going on around them. Successful people maintain a positive focus in life, no matter what is going on around them. They stay focused on their past successes rather than their past failures. Then, and on the next action, steps they need to take to get them closer to the fulfillment of their goals, rather than all of the other distractions that life presents to them. This particular quote has summarized what we want to discuss, that something is certain, that people will encounter problems. And if that problem arises, what do you do? And that's what brings us to the issue of our presentation today. And I want to believe that by the time we finish this presentation, all of us, I want to believe that the organizer of this program or presentation will still make the audience have access to this, so that at the end of the day, when they go back to their various homes, you think and regurgitate on this. It will, at the end of the day, bring a better life to every individual. And that's why I want us to take this presentation very serious, because it's going to help every individual, those that are here and those that will also have access to this material. Then that brings us to what is that reflection we have been talking about. So reflection, also known as introspection or self-reflection, it has to do with the process of examining your thoughts and your feelings, which also allows you to think about the past, the current experiences in depth, and set goals for the future. So, how do you reflect on your goals? How do you reflect on your goals? When you talk about reflection, how do you reflect on that, your goals? You write down your goals and outcome for your career or occupation, as well as your spiritual, emotional, and mental health. You need to write down all this as an individual. Then you also set specific goals and measure your progress. Once a month, check with yourself, have you reached your goals from the previous month, or are you not quite there yet? So these are the things you need to ask yourself that will make you to have a good reflection. As you reflect, you create new goals for the upcoming month, especially if you are unable to meet up with the current month that you have already targeted for, but unfortunately you are unable. So understand what motivates you. Then, what are the tips for a self-reflection practice? The first thing is that you ask yourself what and why. You keep a schedule. You be honest with yourself. Keep a record of your reflections, and also work with someone. So I hope you are all hearing what we are saying here. Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. We are hearing.
Are you all listening?
You, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir. We can hear you, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you, sir.
So, okay. So The practical approach to reflection process is that we must look back and reflect on the good and bad moments throughout the month, especially if you are looking at the month as a case study for yourself. Like I said initially in the previous slides, that you can have a week reflection, but in this case, we are talking with respect to a month. You also create a simple spreadsheet with 3 columns: the 12 months, the positive event, and negative events. This is talking in terms of a month, a year now, that each month you have those positive events and the negative events. You look at it, what are those things that made you happy? What are those things that you felt bad about? But what did I learn from it, and how could I improve upon it? So you now ask your question. If you have a problem or you encounter a negative event, so what did you learn? Even if you also encountered a positive thing or event, what did you learn? So that's what you need to look at. Then the practical steps still continue. And I also mentioned that don't focus on the negatives. Instead, put your attention towards the progress and small digestible milestone you have hit. And in furtherance to that first line there, I said you will have made it 100 to the goal. You may not have made it 100 to the goal. Maybe you have already, targeted 100% of all the things we have already put down that you want to achieve. But maybe at the end of the day, you are able to accomplish 65. It's still an effort that will lead you to the end goal. That shouldn't go unnoticed, meaning that you need to still appreciate that goal that you have achieved, which the example I gave here is 65%. So what did you learn so far? What can you take with you into the new year? So having looked at that table for the year, you now ask what you can take into the new year. And that's the basis of, we are in December now. We started 2023. All of us had different plans, different goals to achieve. And we are in December now. You should be able to reflect, go back, think back and reflect. What are those things that we have achieved from what it is that we have already targeted? And what are those ones that we are unable to achieve? So, and I put there that please comment by the audience so that as we all learn from one another. I don't know if we can just, ruminate. Every one of us can ruminate that in my own, as a case study, take yourself as a case study. What has happened to you? What can you reflect on that has happened to you in those things that are positive and those things that are also negative? So these are the things we need to look at for us to make progress into the plan for the new year. Then, if you want to talk about daily or weekly reflection, you need to write in a journal. The journal I'm referring to here is not the journal of economics, it's not the journal of microbiology, but I'm talking in terms of having a kind of a journal that you can just continue to be putting down some things. So we need, all of us need to have something that we need to be jotting down some of the things that we want to do in terms of our goals. Then experience nature. Sometimes we need to go out, refreshing yourself. So that if you are bored, you go out and experience nature. So before bed, lay in bed before you sleep and stare at the ceiling to think about your day. It's a way of trying to, before you sleep, look at how was your day. how did it go? And you now reflect on if today, what have you achieved? And that's why almost every time, every day we want to leave our house, it's always very good for us to have something like a jotter of all the activities we want to do for that day. So by the time we get to the office, or even the midday, we need to tick which one have you achieved, which one have you not achieved. And by the time you get back home and you want to sleep, we also need to check all the things we have targeted for the day. What has been the hindrances for not achieving that particular target for that day? So reflection's biggest value comes when you build a reflective habit and mindset, and align this with your own set of values, goals, and objectives. Now, we have been talking about values, goals, objectives. So what does it mean? What does values? So we are now saying that how it is used in this topic that we are presenting now, or we are explaining now. Your belief, value means your belief or ideas about what is important in your life. If you ask every individual in this group, what is important to you? I'm sure what Mr. A will think as important to him or her will be different from the second person. So we need to look at this. Then when you talk about goals, what does it mean in relation to the subject matter or the topic we are discussing? The broad main outcomes that you want to achieve, that is, for instance, now you want to switch to another career or self-development. Is that your goal? You need to look at the broad main outcome that you want to achieve. That's what that goal means. Their objectives. If we have audience that have passed through the university, when you are in university, you had the broad objective, specific objectives. What specific objectives talks about is steps you take to achieve the larger goal. You have a broad thing you want to achieve, but the steps you are going to take to achieve that broad, is that what that is specific is all about. Then reflective habits, the ongoing practice of reflecting regularly. That is the reflective habit. So what lesson do we want to drive from this? It makes us to be regularly thinking. It makes us to look at how we are going to, effectively, achieve the goals. Then, adding value by repeating reflection over a series of experiences. The basic process follows the ERA model. That ERA stands for experience, R stands for reflection, and A stands for action. Almost all other reflective models have a similar underlying structure that expands on this. So what we are saying is that it's, the experiences that you have, the individual, the experience of Mr. A would be different from the experience of Mr. B. But the experience of individual, we need to reflect on it so that we'll be able to make progress in life. Now, what are the professional goals? Setting your our own professional goals. Because the topic, like I said, is in relation to the personal and professional growth. So professional goals are ones that can help you progress in your career. Wherever, if you are a lecturer, you are a medical laboratory expert or technologist, you are a medical doctor, whatever discipline that you find yourself, how do you make progress? For instance, in academics, It's a general belief that if you don't publish, you perish. And from there, that's where you get your promotion, which means that your ability to be able to carry out different researches that will develop yourself will make you to make progress. So as an individual, you must understand. And that's why it's always good that whatever profession one wants to do, somebody must not choose a profession that says, that is my mommy that says I should do it, or it is my daddy's interest, and that's the reason why I decided to go into this. So it must not be something that you are being forced to do, so that at the end of the day, all those intricacies of that profession, you'll be able to follow it to the core. So they are more focused on your work life rather than your personal life. So what we are saying is that professional goals, talks in respect to your work life, your profession, than your personal life. For instance, building your skill set, or expanding your professional network are both great goals for a professionals to have. You need to develop networking. As an academics, you don't rely on just you and your colleagues here. You must also need to, link yourself with other universities and look at what can you benefit from your interaction, from your networking with that. So in any profession we find ourselves, we have conferences. If it's ICANN, we have conferences that we, want to attend. And from there, you have network of people that you meet. So by setting goals, so the next slide is telling us the practical steps to set better professional goals. Reflect on what you want. Like I said earlier, every individual knows what he or she wants, which differs. You use the SMART method. When we say SMART method, what's the full meaning of SMART? It means you have to be specific. It means that whatever goal that you want to achieve, you must be specific. It must be measurable. That is, you find ways you are going to assess the progress of your goal. It must also be achievable. Must be realistic enough to actually work towards. You don't just set a goal that you cannot achieve. And this thing is, talking to all of us, that if you want to set goals, make sure that you set your goals based on SMART model. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. You don't just set a goal that you should be able to set yourself by so time. You should be able to, achieve this goal. You must have a deadline. Then you celebrate your success. The success we are talking about is not by placing yourself on the social media that I'm talking about, but you need to appreciate that success we have achieved based on what? Based on the goals that we have achieved in conformity with the SMART model you have used to achieve the goal. So I've given examples. One, for professional goals, continue education. Example 2, improve a skill. Example 3, changing careers. Example 4, becoming your own boss. And example 5, enjoy the work you do. These are goals that you can decide to pick any or all, but you must make sure that it's something that you want to achieve. So what are the helpful reflection questions about your past? These questions is for us to assist us to ruminate, to regurgitate on our past. That's why I said, if we have this material and we go through it it will assist us a lot, especially things that we have already earmarked that we want to do in this year, 2023, and we are moving towards 2024. The first question here is that, what do I wish I did differently the past years? Have I maintained a good work-life balance in the past? So when you continue to ask yourself if your answer is yes or no. And if it is no, you must ask yourself why you have not achieved it. So what are some challenges I have overcome recently? I'm sure if you are to have all the Nigerians, what are the challenges? The first thing people talk about is the removal of subsidy and the attendant effect on individuals. I'm an academic staff, but the reality is that this policy has, affected even so many parents. So students are now paying more than what they were paying before in almost all universities now, both public and private, because most of the things that you are providing, the services you want to provide for students, the price, some years you buy maybe 250 per liter of diesel. To buy a diesel now, to fuel the generator, you need nothing less than 1,000 naira per liter. And you can imagine the implication. But in this case, I had an experience of a director who was also standing at Kuto market saying that, please, okay, Monson, how to park, his car. So as an individual, as a professional, it has affected him. Somebody who never used to standing on the road, asking for free ride. This is what this economy has turned everybody to. But notwithstanding, we cannot kill ourselves. And that's the reason why I want to appreciate this kind of topic that is being doled out for the masses, especially those who are online with us. And then, what accomplishment from the past year surprised me? You may also look at what you have done that you are happy with. As we are saying that the economy is bad, some people are making it. So why some of us are complaining, some are making, but majority of those this fuel subsidy removal affected are in large majority. Only just very big. So what's the most courageous decision I have made? You ask yourself. These are the questions that you ask yourself from your past. Where I am now compared to where I expected to be at this point 10 years ago? Like I said, some of us had the mindset that, look, I'm finishing my secondary school by so, at the end of 16 years. After 4 years, I will have finished my university days, and after that, I will work or go outside the country. So you ask yourself, you have already planned for this, you have made this target for yourself. So where are you now compared to what you have already, fixed or put in mind 10 years ago? So what is it that I'm most proud of? No matter what challenges that we face, one will still have a particular day or some days that we say, no, I'm proud of this particular day. So we need to look at this. And what is the positive outcome that this has also taught? The questions about your present. We have looked at the past, the present. What are my biggest limitations? For instance, we are trying to, peruse our experience in 2023. This question is assumed to be related to 2023, that you ask yourself that in this 2023, what are my biggest limitations? What are my values? How do I define my own success? How will I spend my time if money are not a factor? What are my greatest personal and professional strengths? What are some areas that I can improve? You ask yourself the areas of improvement. What is my morning routine and how does it help me prepare for my day? How do I feel about my role in my personal and professional lives? What distracts me from reaching my full potential? For instance, I'm in academics and I do interact with our students. You know, students having distraction with phones. You ask yourself, your lecturer give you an impromptu test and you score 0. You ask yourself what led to this failure. You should be able to ask yourself, I won't lie you, it is because that instead of reading, I was on Facebook, I was doing this and that led to this. Even in our place of work, we had interaction with a police officer who mentioned something that is affecting the security operatives. You know, security operatives, they do have a day off, or maybe afternoon shift or morning shift. But when you are supposed to rest, go home after the period of your shift, you now use it to go and do something else. So by the time you now come for night shift, you now be sleeping on duty. You can see how this action has affected that person's the professional aspect. So everybody's supposed to have a time to rest. Otherwise, you break down and you'll not be able to be efficient in your place of work. So what distracts me from reaching my full potential? And how do I respond to conflict? So all these questions are very germane for us to be able to, assess, especially this year, 2023, that we have now. Question about your future, which means to reflect on your plans for the future. In this assumption, we are going to 2024. Exactly today is the 28th. And in the next 10 days now, we'll be saying congratulations, Happy New Year. The question now is, what is the primary concern about that future, that 2024? It's coming and it surely come. And I pray that every one of us will see that 2024. But we must set this agenda. What is my primary concern about the future? Where do I see myself? Yes, sir. Probably in the next 5 years. Even particularly with respect to even our organizations, the organization we find ourselves, we must be able to, ask ourselves, this organization that I am, where do I see myself? What are my future career goals? And what step do I plan to take to achieve them? You continue to ask your questions. How can I learn from challenges to create a positive future for myself? It is assumed that you had some challenges this year. How do you learn from what has happened to you in 2023? And the effort, steps to take to prepare for that next year. Do I anticipate major life events shortly that might change my routine? And if so, how can I minimize the challenges that they may present? How will I describe the person I want to be in the future? Some of us want to be like Dangote, you want to be like Otedola. You ask, what do I want a typical day to look like in the future? So these are the questions that should ruminate in the minds of individuals as regards the 2024. You plan. What are some the challenges I want to see in the future? So these among the others that we look at. The concept of resetting. What does it mean to reset? Resetting is about gaining clarity in a time of continuous uncertainty. The key word here is what? Gaining clarity. Gaining clarity in time of continuous uncertainty. Then the process of resetting begins with looking back on the decisions you have made over the past 4 months. We are in December now. What are those decisions you have taken? And defining the priorities that led to those decisions. It's possible we made some decisions that at the end of the day, it favors us. It's at times you may take some decisions that it backfires. So you look back, you gain the clarity of, so you look with previous priorities and goals clearly defined, you'll be better able to understand the basis of your future decision. Because when you are able to get clarity about what actually led to the decision and what was it a positive one that you got at the end of the day, would now make you to understand the basis for your future decision, which especially you are talking of 2024. So the process of resetting breaks down into 3 parts: to reflect, restore, and recast. We want to look at this concept of restore and recast. We have it in 2 forms: restore and recast. Restore is about understanding and refocusing on priorities. Restoring is also directly tied to purpose, either personally as motivations or as an organization's positive impact. Then, with values articulated, consider what motivates and interests you on your team most. It's possible some of us belong to a particular team, that you need to understand what motivates you. Then, for you to recast, is thinking more expansively, about who you are and what you offer as relates to others, which may include your friends, your family members, your colleagues, potential employers, clients, or competitors. So you also need to look at who you are. So these are the things we need to really look at extensively. They want to talk about the concept of leverage. Using leverage is a way to achieve more by doing less. And who doesn't want that? To achieve more by doing less. And this allows you to work smarter, not harder, and get better results. But in business, I want to believe some of the participants or the audience we have, probably the graduates, businessmen and women, that may also find this very useful in their business. So in business, leverage often means using other people's money. It's not yahoo that we are talking about here, or being fraudulent, but time, skills, experience, and ideas to create financial gains. So it means creating systems that are automated and scalable. So you can do business without requiring any effort. So because of the fact that you are very smart on this, and I want to make clarity here that the kind of smartness I'm talking about is not a fraudulent one, but if you know what you are doing, you will be able to achieve more by doing less. You can be out of the country, you can be anywhere, and your business will still be growing. So, and that's the key point we are trying to look at here. So the power of leverage means acknowledging your strengths and using them. We are still trying to explain this concept of leverage. Means that's why I try to bold this aspect to get the key word as regards the leverage, acknowledging your strengths. It also means learning from your past mistakes and knowing when to ask for help or to delegate. So, and leveraging also yourself also means using all of your knowledge and skills to your best advantage by applying them to all situations. So once you have mastered this, you have the strength. Everybody has his own strength. But the problem is some of us have not been able to make use of the strength we have. We sometimes use the strength we have or the knowledge we have in something that is very bad. But if ordinarily we can just use it in a very positive way, it will go a long way in improving our professional and personal skills. If you want to use the power of leverage in business or any other area of your life, you must start with a plan. We must start with a plan. So if you fail to plan, what it means that you plan to fail. So planning is very, very key that you must put into consideration as a path to success. Our devices have changed the way our brains work, reducing concentration times and making us easily distracted. Almost every individual is always affected with phone. If you are the type that cannot control yourself, open your phone that are not relevant to your professional or personal skills. It's a distraction that we must be very, very careful. The advantage of this advancement in technology are very numerous, but unfortunately, majority of the youth use this in a negative way, which as one way or the other caused a lot of distractions, which prevented most youth from, achieving their goals. Not only youth, even the means you have to put your phone on something. It's better you put airplane mode so that you'll be able to do whatever you want to do. You identify your primary source of distraction and eliminate them. As youth or as individual, if you know that your phone is a distraction, it is better you remove it. If you look at 2023 now, you observe that sometimes you bring something from home that you want to achieve. You are not able to complete this task in the office and you bring it home to do. What you now do is that you see your children watching Z World. Z World, whatever, and you sit down with them. And when your boss now asks you the second day, what about, excuse me, sir, that we must avoid? And tap our chest, we all agree, do affect us. Sometimes you may set a timer for 25 minutes or give your consideration to the task at hand. You may decide to time yourself that this thing I want to do, I'm timing myself that with so time I should be able to do it. So we also need to focus on one task. Don't say you want to do so many things at the same time. So I've now summarized all the strategies. What it means to leverage. You fail to plan, you plan to fail. You eliminate distractions, manage your time. Single tasking is the new multitasking. New that you do before you move to another. Make sure you are able to free yourself of this particular task before moving to another. Then leverage failure, master your keyboard. What that one means is that you should be able to master whatever you are doing so that you'll be able to do what you want to do. If somebody is working on a laptop as well, you'll be able to know if you want to do this. And in laptop now, if you are typing, you want to press, first of all, you can just press Ctrl U or this Ctrl B to both. So these are things that can help you to, fast track your work. So learn a new skill, delegate, look after your most important, be flexible, leverage your network, know your why. How to thrive in life. Life is full of situations that are not always clear. Nobody can determine what the particular holds for someone. It's not. It is only God that has this power. So people must be ready to adapt when the unexpected comes their way. And that's why most times I do tell students that in order not to be disappointed is to be expecting a disappointment. Sometimes a disappointment is a blessing. But we need to understand that situations are not always clear. There's no certainty in any situation. So the same thing with 2024. But the best way is for us to plan for the coming year and adjust our ways. How do you thrive in life? You create the sort of network you want to be part of, be the person you want to meet. Perhaps you have some individuals that you have already cited that I want to be like this person. Write down the names of the handful of people you love in your life. If it is Dangote, if it's $10 or whatever person you want to be, write down the things you value about them. Work every day to demonstrate those values yourself. You cherish positive influences in your life. You appreciate your friends, those who have supported you, those who have influence on you. You need to appreciate them so that they will also be motivated into assisting you in the next future. If somebody is planning for next year, you have somebody that has done just duty for you this year, and you don't appreciate that person, you will not be able to meet that person in the next future and say you want to. So remember, your physical health can also affect your mental well-being. Recognize that you can choose how you respond to things. Recognize your trigger situation. So all these things will assist you to thrive in life. Then we have been talking about the professional growth. The term used refers to various techniques for improving one's habits, behavior, or actions and reactions. If you talk about the personal growth talks about the habits, your behavior, your actions and reactions. But personal growth is also an ongoing process that starts from an early age, but is primarily shaped by parents, teachers, because parents sometimes is the best teacher. So the teachers, maybe your primary school, secondary school, university, and the environment where you live. If somebody is not careful and you live in an area where people smoke and this and that, sometimes may influence somebody's behavior or personal growth. And government policies. The example of government policy as the case of what we are experiencing now, which is the petroleum subsidy. So we also look at few examples to clarify what is personal growth. Learning to control anger, learning to overcome procrastination. You want to do something this tomorrow. When tomorrow comes, you now say, it will be next tomorrow, you are going to do it. You just continue to procrastinate and you have anger, problem, and you are so lazy. Overcome laziness, learn to be more polite and considerate. If we know ourselves that we have all these things this year, 2023, you should be able to look at all this and how do we change our lifestyle? How do we change so that 2024 will be a new year that we're talking about rejuvenation. So becoming a more responsible person, learning new things and developing new skills. These are things that can help us. Changing your mindset is also very important. And the professional goals and personal development are often used interchangeably, but they aren't the same. They are not. In the sense that development refers to the training, the seminar, certification, and other opportunities. What we are doing now is part of, development. We are training ourselves. We are trying to bring our memory back to things that sometimes it's not as if we don't know this. We are reminding ourselves that, look, what are the things that we have done this year that we didn't do it very well, and we are moving towards another year. The economy has been in shambles, has affected majority of people, has affected majority of people's plan. But notwithstanding, all these things that we are experiencing should not deter us from achieving our goals in the following year. And that's why we have brought, I keep on appreciating the organizer of this webinar, trying to bring our memory back to what has happened to us in this year 2023. And how do we reflect on this? How do we reset? And these are very, very key and drive towards achieving. So the professional development is the process of gaining new skills through continued education and career training after entering the workforce. So, like we have talked about this kind of experience now in terms of development. Now, professional growth, we have talked about that. Tips and strategies for personal growth and development. Recognize your strengths. Set smart. We have talked about the SMART goals. You have to be specific, measurable, and reliable and time bound. It must be achievable, reliable and time bounds. So these are things that you must set yourself. Don't just send something that's a blanket or blanket goals. So you must find a mentor. This aspect is very key. You must have somebody that you look up to, or somebody that will be advising you, telling you that this is the way you must do this and this and that. And taking part in a professional organization. I have talked about different, academic organizations that whenever you attend such a program, you gain a lot. So you must find a mentor. But this is very, very key, that youth of nowadays, we need to move closer to the elderly people so that at the end of the day, we'll be able to learn from their experience. You expand your knowledge, and through technologies. Today, there are so many things that you can gain on the internet, but fortunately, people are now gaining information that at the end of the day, they use in a negative way. But what we are saying is that we must look at how to gain this to advance our knowledge professionally and personally, in terms of personal growth. Then, panacea. What are the solutions to this? And if you look at some of the things that I've mentioned here, it relates to mostly to the government. Because if you talk in terms of the reduction in the cost of governance, if government should be able to reduce the cost of governance, and the question is, how does it relate to the way we think, the way you want to reflect? Because you must be able to get a link. If the government is not doing something in line with the people's desire, it may affect the people thinking, IQ, because they will just be depressed. So many people have jumped. In fact, I've seen people jump into lagoon in Lagos, committing suicide. We have it among the students, maybe because of school fees, maybe because of how to pay rent. There's a particular state I don't want to mention because we're on here, that the director of a particular ministry had to commit suicide just because the government was owing about 11 months. So that's why the government is also key in this aspect. Stable policy, reduction of corruption through institutional framework, attitudinal change by all and sundry, all of us, because we cannot continue to put everything on government. All of us need to change our style, the way we think. Everything you want to make money by all means, we must change. Everything cannot be like a bed of roses that we exploit, to get things. Then fixing of our refineries, it will create job. Because most of those things that are affecting our youth today is because people, they are unemployed. So this has affected the thinking faculty of individuals because they are jobless. Funding of research and development by government, especially the University and Research Institute, lifting ban on employment among the MDAs, then the favorable ease of doing business. So many companies are leaving Nigeria now to other countries. Recently, we heard of a company that left here, about 5,000 jobs were lost as a result of that. So how will this not affect the thinking of youth? It makes some people to even have, do we ever have hope for this country? Some people, I heard of someone saying that when he was young, they said Nigeria will be better. That is now over 50 years now. What people are still saying that Nigeria will be better. When will Nigeria be better? But we want to use this topic to bring our memory back, that let's see, find hope, that things can still be better. And that's why all of us, we must change our thinking, our idea towards the government. We must also think of how to do for ourselves and make this, change the narrative. Then, in conclusion, this presentation has been able to illustrate on factors meditating effective reflection. I've talked about so many things that government is supposed to do to reduce this problem, of people not being able to reflect, thoroughly and effectively. Then how to foster a mindset for continuous improvement. We have also talked about the vision on the year end as a powerful catalyst for positive change. Then panacea, the solution to our renewed hope. The government has promised us renewed hope, and we should also key to that renewed hope by also thinking towards that. So it is expected that the participants may need to go back home and digest and ruminate on all some of these points that we have raised here. And I want to believe that this will surely have great impact on all of us. Therefore, it's sorry to say that today's presentation will provide a 5 insight to self-discovery. When you think, when you reflect, you make you to be resilient and goal setting among our able audience and participants. Once again, I want to thank you for this opportunity to contribute to knowledge through this medium. And thanks for your listening attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I don't know how to
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for that wonderful presentation and insightful message to our audience, our beloved audience all over the globe that are listening to us online. We really appreciate you. From the crew of Accurate Foundation, Accurate Creative Mind Foundation, we say a big thank you, sir. Please, from the audience, if you have any question, you can easily signify. For those that are online, you can also drop it on the chat box as well. We are going to take them so that our professor will just do justice to the question. Just a quick recap on some of the key messages here. Key messages he has given unto us this evening. He talks about how we can go about our activities what we need to do, those things that we need to do, like the distraction, we need to move them away. You know those things that are causing distraction for you not to be able to meet up with your targets, your daily goals, your monthly goal. First, highlight them and do away with them. He made mention of some key things like the phone, which I believe is has been a major challenge to about maybe let me say 90 to 100% of us. Anytime we want to do one or two things on our phones or on the system, and something just pop up, that will just take our mind off that thing, and that is one of the challenges that is drawing most of us back from reaching our goals, from meeting up with our targets, and procrastination, which has always been another challenge. So there's still more time we do it as a student, as individual, even professionals, even wives at homes. These are another thing. And he made mention of the SMART goal. Even if you didn't take anything away from this presentation, I want you to to add that at the back of your mind. SMART model, which it breaks down to be specific. Your goals has to be specific. These are another challenges most of us usually face. Most of us are not specific with our goals. We just put everything. You want to do so many things at the same time. You want to bid your $10 overnight. These are not achievable. So your goals must be measurable, must be achievable, must be relevant and time bound. So these are things he has made mention, the government aspect of it, those things they have done that is affecting us. But all in all, everybody, like the Yoruba will say, ọwọ́ ọmọdé ò tó pẹpẹ. Likewise, ọwọ́ àgbàlagbà kò wọ́ kèrègbè. That means that the young child cannot pick something at the top, while the elderly ants cannot also enter into tight container. So all of us have so many things to do, as one specific things to do to make this nation better. So please, if you have any question, please kindly drop or signify so that we can take your question. Thank you, sir. Thank you once again, sir. Sir, one of the questions here says that regarding the SMART model you gave us, it says, how can we achieve that as a student when we have issue of strike and other things affecting? This SMART model, the time bound. But a student that needs to just do a study of maybe 4 or 5 years in the university, calculating that within 5 years. So how do we manage that? What can you say regarding that, sir?
Well, I think the point we need to emphasize here is that there are some things that you as an individual cannot really control, and that has to do with the issue of strike. But as a student within the university, some students, just be in the student environment, you know that some students, the parents expect them to be on campus and be reading, but they get admitted and they do something else. So the question is that any student that want to enter the university, you must set goal for yourself that, look, my uncle got first class. I must also have this first class. How do you achieve that first class? I told some students last week, I was reading through the best graduate student in a particular university, which I don't want to mention the university, so I can say I'm advertising. You understand? The student said she spends 7 hours on daily basis to read. The best graduate student in a particular university, which I also don't want to mention, the person said that when he was giving the speech as the best graduating student, an historian, he said, what motivated me was that the day I entered, I was in the auditorium when the best graduate student was making a speech, and I told myself, I also want to be the best graduate student. So since that time, the person started using the SMART by setting goal for himself that, look, this is time I want to read it. You cannot say you want to read go 24 hours to be reading. Is that one is not possible because you have to attend to lectures, you have to wash your clothes, you must do tutorials or do all sorts of things like that. So as a student within the university environment, the issue of strike is not something that you can control because it's the government. You cannot say you want to go to, be going to sue yourself when the ASU is on strike, whatever. But the aspect of smart that we are talking about for students within the campus who wants to achieve a great in terms of his academic performance, you must start right from the onset from 100 level, which must set place. And that was why I said the example of someone that saw the best ability student and said, I also, and the person met it. We was able to achieve it. So that's the point that we are listening there.
Yeah, okay, sir. Thank you so much. Please, do we have any question online? Do we have anybody? Okay. 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 Question here says, sir.
Hello, sir.
Maybe, sir. Is it right for someone doing well in his or her choosing career to switch to another? That is the first question. Another question is talking about setting goals. Is it a good thing to ask someone what they can achieve in the next 2 years, and such person reply it is in the hand of God? Does that mean that they don't have plan for their life, or they just decide to take each day as it comes?
Maybe let me go first.
Okay.
The first
Okay.
question. I will now listen to. Is it right for someone doing well to shift to another career? Well, it is whatever any reason that wants to make someone to take a decision to leave a particular, you must be able to compare. What will you lose? Where you want to go? What is going to be the benefit? Because before you can say you want to shift, you must have seen something better than where you are at the moment. You must have done the comparative analysis. Some people, let me give you another example. Some people, they prefer to be with their family rather than living that place. Yeah, there's a place where they want to pay better. When you look at it, you say, hey, I'm the one taking care of my family here. I don't want to lose my husband. Do you understand? And somebody can say, look, let me see. Or even they are being paid very well, there must be a particular reason. Even though you are being paid well, where you want to shift. If there is no basis, there's no point in someone basis. But the advice from me is that person should be able to analyze critically the two options, the options of living and where you want to go. That's just my answer to that person. The second question. I hope that I'll be able to answer that person if I'm not yet. If it's not, the person not yet clear can see the ask. Exactly. But second question, sir.
The second question says, talking about setting goals, is it good? Is it a good thing to ask someone what they can achieve in the next 2 years, and such person replies, it is in the hand of God? Does that mean they don't have plan for their life, or they just decide to take each day as it comes?
Well, you see, in true life situation, I think we've mentioned like that life is not always clear. It is certain that nobody, I said it, that nobody can predict. But notwithstanding, you still need to plan. You fail to plan to fail. So if somebody asks you, what is your plan? You want to know whether you are a serious person. In an educational setting, these are some of the questions that have been asked, that somebody must be there for that interview. If you can't say it's the hand of God, that means that you lose the job, it will not employ you. They will see you as on a serious person. They expect you to tell them, look, I want in the next so. If this is our production level, in the next 5 years, we want this production level to increase to this. We want this organization to be known throughout the Africa, if it is Nigeria or West Africa and this. You must be able to have an answer. If you say that it's in the hand of God, it is true that everything is in the hand of God. That's why we sometimes say that man proposes, but God disposes. What does that mean? It means that man must still perform an action. You make. The Bible says, "Ọmọ tó bá ṣípá, ìyẹn máa ń gbé." And even from religious cycle, you are being told that even if you are in the mosque, before you leave the mosque, you must pray. In the Christian cycle, every day you pray. Why did you pray? So you must not say that everything is in the hand of God. I think it's not a very good answer. It is better you have a good answer by telling the organization where you expect that organization to be in the next 5 years, and not is in the hand of God.
Thank you so much, sir. Mrs. Grace, are you satisfied with the answer? Okay. Concerning the smart goal you gave us, somebody is asking, how can some of this, because when you talk of measurable and achievable, how can in place of a government policy, after you make your plans and your goal and government policy, how do one plan that government policy will not come in between, because somebody is asking if some situation might warrant that government policy will just destabilize all the plans along the way. So how do we plan ahead?
Yes, in the course of presentation, we said that sometimes you set a goal, and you remember that I said 100%, but at the end of the day, it's only 65% you are able to achieve. And this is a typical example that sometimes the government policy changes whatever. And I did talk about the fact that the removal of petroleum subsidy affected 99% of Nigerians. I say only unless a few individuals, and I don't want to mention those few individuals. Do you understand now that they don't know what is happening to other Nigerians? So if it happens to us, we re-strategize. That's what it's telling us. We re-strategize. That is the solution. It is true that all of us, we regular have, but some circumstances do occur that will make you to now say that, look, this thing has happened. Let me tell you, I saw an example of the director who was at the Equator market saying, please, okay. Why did he do that? Somebody spent 5,000 naira on daily basis. And what it means that's 5,000 times 5. That's 25,000. Which ordinarily before you are spending just 2,000 naira to pay your car. Unless somebody is stealing, that will not have that effect. That shock. It's a shock. So, and once it happens, you have to strategize. I was teaching some students over the weekend, and I told them that, look, this period that we are now, there's what we call coping strategy, which you have to strategize. You are the type that they just put all the meats on your this like this. And in this period, if you are not stealing, I'm sure you have to say, go and remove this thing and then give me just 2 or reduce to 1. So, but the issue is this. What has happened this year is to let us now strategize for the next year. We have gained this experience. We have gotten the shock. But the point is that we must not allow what has happened to weigh us down. We need to now look for the way out. What has happened now has made some people to start to think of, I need to have additional source of income. I need to have additional source of income. Do you understand now? Some people, they cannot do without buying clothes every month. Or some people, these who are men, some people, they stop. Or they say, look, I will come, but I don't have money to buy. When the students are on permission now. But generally, the school fees they are giving them. So how will somebody be spending lavishly? These are some of the things that will make someone to think, oh gosh. Yeah. Government policy, sometimes, like I've said it, that these are the things that do affect us. That was why I said in the area of economy, this economy is only be affected by some of the decisions or targets or goals that we have already prepared for ourselves.
Thank you so much, sir. The only question here is, can we have the slide? I believe you mentioned that.
Yes.
That we have the slide.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, sir. We are really grateful for your time. We're really grateful for your time, sir. On behalf of, we want to present, on behalf of the crew, Accurate Creative Mind, we want to present this little gift, sir. Sir, please just accept it from us, sir.
Thank you very much.
On behalf of Accurate Creative Mind Foundation, we present this plaque to you for your contribution to knowledge and mankind, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Please, those online, please kindly help us to appreciate our prof for that wonderful presentation and contribution to knowledge. Help us to wish him well. And once again, seasonal greetings to you, sir.
Thank you very much. I also want to once again thank the
Thank you, sir.
organizer.
God bless you.
I want to encourage more of this because this as we are talking now will change the mindset of some people today. Some people are depressed, but possibly listening to this kind of measure will make them to change their minds and look forward to a fruitful year 2024. So thank you very much. And thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Okay, so can we leave now?
Yes, sir. Okay. So while the artist was designing